What is going down, SDS? What a start. What is going down, SDS faithful, as we get ready to preview LA Rams versus the San Francisco 49ers? We're letting our hair down on this Friday. We're going to talk all things San Francisco 49ers. Jimmy Garoppolo, oh boy, he responded to the viral video. Of course, we're going to talk about that. But main point of today's episode, we are going to really take a look. We're going to get score predictions. We're going to get offensive, defensive player of the game predictions from everyone in the chat. Get ready. Let's get hyped. Happy Friday. Smash that like button. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. What is going down, SDS? Hope you guys are having a wonderful Friday. For the San Francisco 49ers, from a practice standpoint, not really Friday. It's more like a Thursday. So I wouldn't be surprised if we actually get some press conferences tomorrow. They're going to have practice tomorrow. Final injury reports are going to come out tomorrow. Well, not final, but I guess in the sense of our first initial pregame injury reports will come out. So we still got a little ways to go in regards to getting through the week and getting to the Rams game this Monday. All that good stuff. I hope you guys are doing well. I'm sure it's the end of your week. You're ready to get into the weekend. It's nice. It's always nice. Now, we kind of have an extended weekend. We kind of get to sit back on Wednesday, kind of watch the rest of the league, not have to stress too much about the 49ers. Can just kind of kick back, relax, chill out a little this weekend. But then we're back to rooting for the 49ers this Monday in a, let's face it, this is a must-win game for the San Francisco 49ers. I don't know if you guys agree with me or not on that in a week 4 matchup, but this feels pretty damn important. Feels like they got to get this one done. Take care of business. And with the Rams coming to town, that is a division opponent. You have the opportunity to be thrust to the front of the division if you get a win over the Rams. You get the momentum back on your side. You get the dogs off the back of the San Francisco 49ers. And maybe we go another week without Frank Matthews dropping Fire Kyle comments and spamming them in the chat. So that's why I think it's a must win at this point. Is the season over if the San Francisco 49ers don't win against the Rams? No, but our mental health will be severely impacted if they don't. So we want the W. Get us a win, man. We want a good week of vibing after that, heading into the Panthers October 9th for week 5. Green Thumb Richie says, let's go Niners. Gotta beat the Rams. It's mandatory. I agree. There's a lot on the line here. Bragging rights, pride, helping get the train back on the tracks. Gotta get it going. And we did have some good news today. 49ers legendary running back coach Bobby Turner has returned. Is it time? Is he going to save the San Francisco 49ers? Is he going to get that run game all squared away? It's good to have Bobby T back. Bobby T's been around for a long time. If you didn't know, he had surgery in the offseason to repair his hip. But he was expected to be out for the entirety of the year. But hey, it looks like he's back in the mix. So I don't mind that at all. Don't mind that at all. We'll see what it comes down to, who's actually going to play in the game. We, of course, had a practice report come out today of the injuries, and so we could take a look at that. Eric Armstead continues to not practice. Now, if you guys remember, Eric Armstead was going through the pregame warm-up. It was like a real legit game time decision against the Denver Broncos. He was out there on the field, kind of working through it. Didn't feel right. Didn't get cleared by the doctors, and he still hasn't practiced yet this week. So again, the key dates for guys when it comes to practicing to get an indication if they are going to be able to be available for the game is Friday practices, which even though today's Friday for the 49ers and their schedule, tomorrow, Saturday, would be their typical Friday practice. So if we can at least get Eric Armstead with a limited participation on Saturday, that would be a better indication that he could be available. Javon Kinlaw, haven't heard a whole lot about this. Javon Kinlaw, I think this is now the second day in a row. Javon Kinlaw hasn't practiced. They're saying it's a knee. Hopefully, Big Javon's all right, because if Eric Armstead can't go, we're going to need Javon. If Javon can't go, the 49ers are going to have to rely on guys like Kevin Givens, Hassan Ridgeway, maybe Akeem Spence. That interior defensive tackle position has taken quite a hit this offseason. Many of us forget about Mo Hurst, who could have been a solid part of this rotation. So it's going to be interesting to see how they attack this. But it's a wait and see approach. Danny Gray doesn't practice 2 weeks in a row. Interesting. I couldn't even really tell. Did Danny Gray get into the game against the Denver Broncos? He was active, I believe. I think he dressed. He did dress. But did he play? I don't know. Danny Gray pops up on the injury report as well with a did not participate. I think that's the second day in a row that Danny Gray has not participated. So interesting to see there. We know about Trent Williams, Tarvarius Moore added to that. We know about Azeez Al-Shaair. We know about Dwelley. Oh, no. Dwelley's new. Dwelley's not practicing with a rib injury. So that's going to be something that you have to monitor. Croft, we understand about Croft. He's going to be out for about 3 more weeks. Ty Davis Price, going to be out for about 3 more weeks. So the really new ones that we're keeping our eye on are Ross Dwelley, really Danny Gray, Javon Kinlaw, and Eric Armstead. Tarvarius Moore, we haven't seen a whole lot of him this year. So I know it doesn't move the needle as much, but we do want to get healthy and we want to get this thing going because we already know health is wealth around these parts, specifically around the San Francisco 49ers. Got to get healthy, got to get going, got to get ready for Monday night because we got to win this freaking game, guys. I know I don't got to tell you this. I know this isn't new information for you, but it just has to be echoed in the chambers of, I don't even know at this point. It's like I'm trying to speak it into existence to death. Got to get this dub, man. Got to get this dub. Put the drama of last week behind us. Again, we've had both Kyle Shanahan and Jimmy Garoppolo speak on the lip reading heard round the world or seen round the world. Your plays suck, man. Let's just chalk it up that just everything sucked offensively against Denver. We had one good drive. That was it. Everything else sucked. So whether it's the plays, whether it's the execution, doesn't matter anymore. Everything just sucked. Let's agree Let's agree that that game against Denver was horrid, and we accept it and we move on because nothing else is going to come from it. We've heard from both sides, both of them. You already know the vibes. They're not going to. They handled it just as I would anticipated them to handle it. Both of them both watched that clip. Kyle Shanahan said he didn't. Jimmy said he doesn't remember saying that. Jimmy was saying he's glad that's what that's what they picked up, considering some of the things that he says on the field. And I actually believe that a little bit because let's face it, there's probably some real rancid things that can be said in between those white lines. It could be about opposing players, your players, whatever. So we move on. On to Cincinnati, or the Rams in this case. So that drama is officially wrapped up. I don't think we're going to hear much more about that. Guess where all the cameras are going to be, though? Oh, baby. Those cameras are going to be like this, high and tight on Jimmy Garoppolo, because they want to see if they could catch him saying something else. Maybe they're going to be zoomed in on Kyle Shanahan, trying to get some spicy Kyle Shanahan nuggets. I don't know. It's Monday night. There's going to be a million cameras. Everything's going to be captured. So you already know how it's going to go. We just hope that the game flow and the game plan doesn't put this team in a position to where anyone is talking about anything. Jason says, gosh, I feel this in my bones, Jason. Why do we let these narratives thrive? You have to take a look at the NBA. All right. The NBA has really set the foundation from a engagement standpoint. All right. So I really believe that to be true. You know, you have your film junkies, your film heads, your X's and O guys on Twitter and things like that. But let's face it, there is a developing and booming category of social media that does thrive on drama, does drive on, like, he said this about what did Tyreek Hill say about Eli Apple? What was Eli Apple's response? Like, the 49, not the 49ers, but the NFL in general is also being consumed by more average, I guess, fans too. And so it's really easy to lean into that type of stuff. Like, ooh, there's some spicy drama. Like, I could talk to my wife about the spicy little drama that's going on with the San Francisco 49ers, and she'd probably be intrigued by it. She'd be like, oh, that sounds spicy. Like, yeah, it's spicy. So it's just the evolving world that is the NFL. So those things are always going to be discussed. They're going to be asked. But hey, we addressed it. We heard what they had to say. Now we move on. If no one clicked on it, no one would care. But as soon as people realize that clicks drive the world, now it is what it is. So I don't know if I believe this anymore. Any press is good press. I know that was something that's been coined for a long time. If you're relevant in one regard, it's a good thing, I guess. I don't know. Today's ravenous social media world, I don't know if good press is, if any press is good press. In an era of getting canceled, I don't know if any press is good press. But anyways, I digress. Let's move on. Oh baby, woo! In honor of Talanoa Hufanga, we let the flow go today. I'm trying my hardest to do a collaboration effort with Talanoa Hufanga and Head and Shoulders. Let's get after it, Tally. Come on, Huffy. Let's corner the market with the flow, and let's get this Head and Shoulders thing rolling. But yeah, I had to let the flow go today. It's Friday. Flow Friday. We dropped the hair. It's not that serious anymore. It was a lot more serious earlier in the week when we're all upset and we were all angry and frustrated, didn't know what to do with ourselves, didn't know what to do with our emotions. And we channeled them into, sometimes unconstructive things. But hey, we're out of that time now and we're back on track and we're focused on the Rams. We're focused on guys like Hubanga balling. Did you see? Did you see? Next gen stats have Talanoa Hufanga as the number 3 ranked safety in 2020. I mean, that's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. Number 3, I'll take it. I mean, talk about a rise. Talanoa stonks through the freaking roof. Screw the moon. Talanoa's going to Mars. He's out. He's on that. He is on that Tesla hype with Elon Musk. He's like, screw the moon. We're going to Mars, baby. Hufanga. I mean, if he can consistently keep this up, maybe we are talking all pro. I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he's playing he's playing at a different level right now. So shout out Talanoa. He's doing a really good job. But let's get into these Rams, shall we? When we I think we understand what it is, right? I think when we talk keys to victory, the keys to victory are going to be the same week to week. It is what it is. We're always going to talk about time of possession, especially with this offense, especially with, I think, how we perceive the offense to be, especially under Jimmy Garoppolo. I don't know if the 49ers get behind in points, get behind in time of possession, get behind in the turnover battle, that we really have a ton of confidence, at least right now, in a Jimmy Garoppolo-led offense to really just fight their way back. That there is history that points to Jimmy Garoppolo having 4 game-winning comebacks. 2019 season, he's come back before. You can go back to the Week 18 game to get into the playoffs and the deficit that the 49ers had to erase to get back. They needed Jimmy Garoppolo in that point. So he's done it. He's capable. It's the consistency factor that we just don't know. So heading into this game, I don't think any fans, at least from a viewing standpoint, want to mess with that potential formula of having to play from behind. So I think for the 49ers going into this game, I think the same things are going to apply that we're going to be looking for. Run the football. Run the football, and guess what? Run it again. And let's run it with Jordan Mason. I know we're on the brink of beating a dead horse at this point in regards to how much we talk about Jordan Mason, but watching Raheem Mostert last night against the Dolphins, watching the outside zone, and just how Raheem Mostert really is so perfect for the outside zone. And just I look at this team since 2020, which was really the last opportunity that the 49ers had a true threat of outside zone, something that they've been predicated on. And since Mostert's been down, they're trying to figure out what they are in the run game. Like, it's really easy to say run the ball, but how are we going to run the ball? Are we going to use gap scheme? Are we going to use mid zone? Are we going to use outside zone? Are we going to use throwback power concepts, counters, powers, traps? What are we doing? How are we doing it? And how are we going to accomplish this? Watching Mostert last night just reminded me, I was like, damn, We just don't have that outside zone element anymore. And Mostert was just so good at being able to set up that outside zone. Um, and we really are just missing that. With Jeff Wilson, I think Jeff Wilson is phenomenal at mid zone or at more gap scheme type runs in between the tackles. I think Jeff Wilson's really good at that. I think Jeff Wilson has vision, he has cuts, he has bursts in a phone booth. I think that's where Jeff Wilson thrives the most. But we are lacking that ability to spread defenses vertically, not vertically, horizontally, and then pick apart the holes and cut and burst and find the way from there on. So I really think Jordan Mason can be a part of that process when it comes to running outside the tackles. He is very good at getting downhill in a hurry. Now, he's not going to be as fast as Raheem Mostert, but I think he can offer a little bit more in that regard. So I would love to see the 49ers try maybe a little outside zone action. Again, you're not going to have Trent Williams. I get it. But you got George Kittle back. Get those combo blocks on the outside, get to the second level. I think the 49ers can get something going that way. And then I just think when I look at the San Francisco 49ers offense, I want to see them spread out the defense. And I don't know how they're going to accomplish that, but that's what I want to see. Um, we're going to find out what we're going to get, because if you do look at from a scheme standpoint, the Rams do run pretty similar concepts overall to what the Broncos did. So the Broncos had a pretty good job of kind of suffocating the run game. So I think the 49ers are going to have to dip into their bag a little bit and try to figure out how they can get this thing rolling. And I really think that's got to be a huge key to success. Get the run game going. Hell, if you have to pass to open up the run game, I'm not opposed to how it gets done, but I want to see. We already know lots of runs, lots of runs. Do I think Bobby Turner is going to tell Kyle it's okay to play Mason? I don't know, man. I'm starting to think. Offensive personnel is a Chris Forster decision. My I keep thinking it's Kyle, but at the end of the day, I don't think Kyle's running out personnel groupings. I don't think Kyle is in the lab, totally designing up plays. I think he's calling them. And I've heard Mike McDaniel talk about this when he's talked about the responsibilities when he was the run game coordinator, LaFleur is the passing game coordinator. His example was Kyle's like a chef. You have like your sous chefs or whatever other chefs behind you that get the ingredients ready. They prep everything. They do all the things. They sharpen the knives. They get everything ready, and then it's just Kyle pulling things per what he thinks is best. I kind of think it might be Chris Forster, the run game coordinator and offensive line coach, who might have a little bit more say this year, which is why we see Jake Brendel. It's why because he's the one who's talking about Jordan Mason, like the lights are too big for him. I have not seen that from Jordan Mason. So I don't know who's responsible, but it is interesting. Tony says scheme Bobby Wagner into playing pass coverage. Yes, 100%. I think Bobby Wagner's best asset right now is as a pass rusher. Um, you know, Bobby is definitely lost a step. He's still very smart. He's still a talented middle linebacker. But yeah, absolutely. If we can somehow scheme up George Kittle on Bobby Wagner, somehow get one-on-one matchups that way, I think that would be a benefit for sure. Or if you just get Bobby rushing, but we don't want Bobby dropping Dropping into coverage though, because then Jimmy struggled with that in the past for sure. But shout out Tony for the super chat. Appreciate that, my boy. Let's take a quick gander. We're gonna do score predictions, or not yet. We're gonna do score predictions. We're going to do offensive and defensive players of the game from a prediction standpoint. But let's just take a look who we're going to be facing. Let's take a look. We already know the. Let me get. Boop. We already know the defense is going to be in good shape. Now we understand there could be a little light on the interior of that defensive line if Eric Armstead and Javon Kinlaw can't go. But we'll continue to see how that plays out. I think when we look at this, the skill positions for the Rams, our eyes go to Cooper Kupp. Our eyes go to Cooper Kupp and just figuring out how to neutralize and make Cooper Kupp as invisible as possible. Probably not going to happen. Cooper Kupp is a really, really great wide receiver, and he can win in a multitude of ways. Trying to limit that as much as possible, whether it's on the outside, whether they shift him inside into the slot, got to figure out how to lock him up. Do you mirror Cooper Kupp with Charvarius Ward, Emmanuel Mosley? Do you let Talanoa Hufanga come down into the slot? Do you allow Hufanga to just kind of kick back and, do what he does and kind of roam a little bit? Or do the 49ers lean on Deommodore Lenoir more in the slot and see if he's up for the challenge? It's going to be interesting to see how D'Amico Ryans schemes it up, because I feel like that would be a great thought process to at least neutralize and remove the number one target and let your Allen Robinsons, who's been struggling to find a connection with Matthew Stafford, let Ben Skowronek beat you, and the Tyler Higbees of the world. Like, that's what it feels like would make the most sense. But you also understand there's a million ways to attack an opposing offense. So we'll see how it comes down. Biggest thing, this offensive line from the Rams is not that good. They've given up a lot of pressure so far through 3 weeks, and you have a defense that's chomping at the bit to get more sack production. I don't believe the offensive line opens up enough running lanes for guys like Cam Akers or Darrell Henderson either. So I still think there's going to be an ability to limit the Rams on the ground. But when that occurs, you have to pin your ears back and get after the quarterback. At least this week, the 49ers aren't facing a mobile quarterback. So there could be an opportunity here for the 49ers to stack more sacks. We'll see. We'll see. We haven't. The defensive line has been very good this year, but I'm looking for that like dominating, just taking over a game performance. Do we get that this week? I don't know. I would hope so. But looking at this offense that the defense is going to be facing, who do you think? Now is the time where we're going to pull the chat. Who do you think is going to be the defensive player of the game for the San Francisco 49ers against the Rams at Levi's Stadium? The whole crowd's going to be behind this defense, getting loud. So they'll have a little bit more juice to play with in this game. Not to say that it would be any different if they were playing at Levi's South, but at Levi's North, who is going to be the defensive player of the game? Who do you think that person will be? Right off the bat, we got Hubanga. We got Charvarius Ward, Warner, Drake Jackson. Drake Jackson got his first career sack last week against Russell Wilson. Could he add more to his plate? E-Man or Ward. I kind of like that. I really am looking forward to seeing how many times Cooper Cup and Charvarius Ward go against each other. I'm looking forward to that. I think if we can somehow get Ward locked up on Cup, there'll be a lot better path for success. Huff, Fred, Hubanga, Mooney, or E-Man. Ward against Cup, gonna shut him down. Hufanga. Robert just says, beat the Lambs. Anybody from the secondary does feel like the secondary is primed for a little bit bigger of a day, but I could see Bosa feasting on Noteboom. I know you guys remember that week 1 performance against the Bills where the Bills just went nuts on that offensive line. I feel like the 49ers have the potential to do the same, but that could mean that Stafford's just getting the ball out more, forcing throws, and we know Stafford is good for at least one throw that you're like, what the hell was that, man? So maybe that goes towards Charvarius. Oh, Demo, spicy. I like the Demo one. That's sneaky. I mean, Demo has an opportunity for sure. The opportunity is going to be there. Just got to take advantage of it. Bosa, like it. Yeah, I agree. Facebook user. Givens will eat this week. Givens is going to get a lot of playing time this week. Givens has been pretty damn good, not only this year, but just in this tenure for the 49ers. Undrafted player out of Penn State. He's been pretty damn solid and is looking like he's going to get more opportunities too. So Kevin Givens could absolutely be that guy. Drake Jackson. Bobby T got called to be Popeye spinach for Kyle. Hopefully it helps. Got to get this one. That's a nice visual. So now that Bobby T's back, Kyle's got his muscles back. Is that what we're saying here? I like that visual. Givens is going to have a game according to Steven. Ward needs to go man to man on Cup all night. No pause. I agree. Diamador Lenore. Somehow just have Ward follow him. I wouldn't mind that. Throw up the T, bang, bang. Toko's everywhere. Loving Talanoa Hufanga balling out. Bosa, for sure. I agree with this. Cup does take advantage, and he's really good at making people miss. So you definitely have to be on it. Jaguar, appreciate the super chat, says Charvarius Ward has to play great D versus Cup. Big game, man. We spent money at that position for a reason. So yeah, I agree. Let's see, what else do we got here? James says, I think the D line is going to have a huge game. I think it's set up big time for the defensive line to have a big game. Jorge's going. He's going. Circa, what is that? Like 2011. New Orleans Saints. Bounty Gate. He's saying target the elbow of Stafford. Jorge's taking a page out of what's that defensive coordinator's name? Mr. Bountygate himself. Man, I can picture his face. Greg Williams. There we go. Good old Greg Williams. So Jorge's channeling his inner Greg Williams. Find the injury and hunt it down and break them physically. Hey, it's football. It's a physical game. I'm not too above. Hey, we're desperate. We're desperate at this point. Bang Bang says Demo was a beast at Salesians High School in Boyle Heights. Seen him every home game. I got a Demo game worn jersey. I might have to bring that out here pretty soon. Demo keeps playing like this. We're gonna have to bring the game worn Oregon Diameter Lenore jersey out. Let's see. So if you're just joining, we're talking about who you guys think would be the defensive player of the game against the Rams. Your last opportunity to get your guesses in, and then we're going to move on to the offensive side. So this is what we are going to see. Oh boy. Oh boy. Let me tell you. Let me tell you as we get the last couple defensive guys in here. We're going to talk about the offense versus the Rams defense. Then we're going to do our predictions, who the player of the game is going to be for the offensive side. But I'm telling you, man, I don't know how to feel. I've always had an irrational sense of confidence just knowing that Daniel Brunskill was playing because this guy's on the other side. And when this guy's on the other side of the line of scrimmage, let's call it what it is. Aaron Donald's a problem. He is a freaking problem. And we just happen to have the Aaron Donald eraser. Well, there's no indication that Daniel Brunskill will be starting this game. Maybe he plays. I don't know. But right now, I'm a little more worried than usual about Aaron Donald wrecking shop, especially if they put him right there on the interior in between the three techs. Um, that's where I start to begin a little bit more concerned, especially if they got him in the zero tech. If they got him head up on the center, might be a long night. We're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see. So huge game coming up for the new three on the new four. Jeez. This offensive line for the San Francisco 49ers is going to look like Colton McKivitz, Aaron Banks, Jake Brendel, Spencer Burford, and Mike McGlinchey. Whew. That offensive line, I know I have faith in those boys. I definitely have faith in those boys that they can compete and do a good job. But woo, it's going to be a test. It's going to be a test for those boys. Very excited and very intrigued to see how they do against Aaron Donald, Leonard Floyd, Ashawn Robinson, and Greg Gaines. The Rams defensive line, not bad. When we look at the linebackers, I'm not as, Leonard Floyd, they're going to play on the line of scrimmage. I'm not really looking at these linebackers and feeling too much threat there. Bobby Wagner is smart. He's talented. He's lost a step, I think, in coverage. But I think he still can be a factor and make impact plays on the game. We just have to make it a point to not give him any opportunities to make plays. Ernest Jones, Justin Hollins, it is what it is. They got David Long playing nickel. Okay, this is a different David Long. Okay. And when it comes to the back end, we understand Jalen Ramsey. He has the potential to play really well. I don't like Jalen Ramsey. Probably one of my least favorite players in the league. I just don't like him. Just don't like Jalen Ramsey. I can respect the talent that he brings to the table, and do think he is a top cornerback in the NFL. I will give him that. but I just don't like him. And if he gets cooked and he gets toasted, I will get a lot of joy in memeing the crap out of him. But it can go both ways. It can, if we're being honest. It can go both ways. He can have a really bad game, or he can look like an first ballot Hall of Famer. It's up to Jalen uh, to be what he thinks he is. Um, and we've seen it both ways. I just hope we get the burnt toast version. That's what I'm hoping for. But we'll see. We'll see. I hate Jalen Ramsey. I hate's a strong word. Hate's a strong. I'll say it like this from a fan perspective. I love hating on Jalen Ramsey. I think that's better. I don't hate Jalen Ramsey. There's nothing to actually hate about the person. I love hating on Jalen Ramsey. I would love nothing more than to see number 5 burnt toast memes all Monday night. But that means the San Francisco 49ers, Debo Samuel, Brandon Ayuk, Ray McLeod. Doesn't sound like Danny Gray is going to be available. I don't know. We'll see. Hasn't practiced 2 days in a row this week. Jawan Jennings, George Kittle. Who's going to burn him? One of these guys got to burn him. We haven't seen enough. We've seen glimpses. We've seen potential. We've seen opportunity, but we haven't seen enough. I am very intrigued to see what this offense looks like with Jimmy Garoppolo after the freaking scrutiny. Arguably one of the biggest boneheaded plays running out of the back of the end zone you'll ever see from any quarterback. How does he respond? I think he'll respond, knowing what I know about Jimmy. I think he's built to block out the noise, right? So I don't think the noise will affect him a whole lot, but it's a great opportunity for Jimmy Garoppolo to bounce back and do what he always does. Twitter spends an entire week trashing Jimmy, and then Jimmy does what he does. He reels us back in. He just throws out the line, and he's got some great bait on there. Smells good, tastes good, and we bite. And he has good games. Wins the game. Hell, I don't care. Win the game, man. Win the game. Bring us back. Bring us back, Jimmy. You know how to do it. Just win. We don't care. Just win the game. We don't got to go back and forth about who's quarterback. We don't care anymore. Just win the game. And we're good. We're Gucci, as the kids say. And this too. Don't lose the game either. Don't lose the game either. Win the game. Also, don't lose it. I want to see Kittle go off. I really want to see some deep shots to Ayuk. Most importantly, when I'm looking at the offense, I still believe it starts with the run game up front, which of course translates into the offensive line. I think the offensive line has to block well. I think it has to be schemed up well. I want to see more than just Jeff Wilson today or Monday, I should say. Hell, I'm open to seeing Marlon Mack. I am. I'm open to seeing Tevin Coleman, but I'm also very open to seeing Jordan Mason. I think the 49ers need to get back to the roto. Like, where'd that rotation go? I used to hate it because as a fantasy football player, you can never accurately predict who was going to have the big game. But go back to 2019. Like 2019, Tevin Coleman, without a doubt, starting the game, getting the first couple carries. Then you get a little Breida sprinkled in. Then you get Mostert. Then Mostert would start to heat up. Then Mostert would take over. Like, you get a little Jeff Wilson sprinkled in. Let's get back to that. You know? Let's get back to the little where's the rotation at? I would like to see that. See what different wrinkles can be brought just having different backs in there. Now, Forster alluded to maybe the lights are too bright for Jordan Mason. I don't know if I'm buying that, but want to see them run the football more, even with Trent Williams going down. Uh, but it's going to be interesting to see who steps up. With all that being said, looking at the defense that the 49ers will be facing, this is where we turn to you in the chat and we want to hear from the Sourdough Squad. This is where you tell me who will be the offensive player of the game. Again, this is we believe that the 49ers are going to win this game. So who's going to be that offensive player? Who's going to be that guy that we're going to be talking about after this Rams game, after we get back on track? Who's that guy? We're gonna be having the George Kittle redemption tour, the Jimmy Garoppolo redemption tour. Is it going to be Debo Ayuk? Ooh, I'm liking some of the answers that we're getting here so far. I'm liking some of these. Keep dropping them in the chat. First one off the bat. Third down God. Jawan Jennings could be. Maybe. Joey on Facebook says Ayuk for sure. I hope so. I hope so. I would love to see Brandon Ayuk. Not, I think there's a stylistic way in which I would like to see him be the player of the game too. And that's big plays. I want to see something electric from this offense. I want to see something electric. Is it too much to ask? I don't think so. I don't think so. All right, let's see what else we got in here. Jesus says Debo. Man, we could use some classic Debo against the Rams for sure. Lori says Kittle, no doubt. Green Thumb says Kittle. Sean says Mason. I like that thought process. SoCal Niner says Jimmy. I've said worse, G. So I'm interpreting that as that hurt coming out, but you do think there is a chance that Jimmy Garoppolo can return and bounce back, have a good game against the Rams. I'm hoping so, man. I really am. Ross the boss, he didn't practice today, so we'll continue to monitor that. Jorge says Kittle. Niners worldwide says Air Debo. Jimmy is who he said he was tour. Nice. Ooh, a little Hefe. Hefe's due for like a 2-touchdown game. He needs to score. He's been held out. He's been really close. He's been very close. Peter says, gotta be Debo. Alejandro says Jimmy. Safety redemption. What if we get a Jimmy nuclear game where Jimmy throws like 4 touchdowns and no picks, perfect passer rating? Oh, I would be so happy. I would be so happy. We need to run to get established. That helps Jimmy Garoppolo. I really think play action is good for Jimmy because it opens up where he wants to throw. He wants to throw over the middle of the field, get the linebackers sucked up, and throw right behind him. In the game against Denver, the play action passes were pretty solid. Ayuk is a sleeper. He shouldn't be, though. He shouldn't be. Lori says electric. What are you smoking? Dude, let's just win. I don't need anything flashy. Lori, god damn, you're right. Excuse my language. You're right. We don't need anything flashy. We just need a win. Could it? Absolutely correct. Debo is the key for this offense. He is a key for sure. Definitely. Let's see. Jerome says, "We got the defense and special teams playing good now. Let's open up the offense." Agreed. Ooh, Jordan Mason scores this game. Ooh, I like that. I like that. I'm right there with you, man. We got to get Mason the ball. Ooh, Kyle, use check. Oh, we got Air Debo, Purdy. That would be wild. Hope Jimmy doesn't throw down the middle. Jennings is gonna eat. Yeah, for sure. So, if I had to pick, I don't think I picked offense or defensive player of the game. I think for defensive player of the game feels like a Fred Warner game. If I'm being totally honest, I think Nick Bosa is going to have a great game per usual, getting pressures, getting sacks, those types of things. Feels like we could get a really nice Fred Warner game. I feel like Fred Warner plays really well against the Rams. Could see Fred. I'm going to pick Fred Warner to be the player of the game. And for the offense, I don't want to jinx it, so I'm not going to risk trying to get cute. So I don't want to jinx it in the wrong direction. So I'm not going to go where I want to go in my head for other reasons. So I'm going to try to think of it logically. For the offense, I think this is a great opportunity for George Kittle. Give me a George Kittle masterclass game. Second game back. Um, Utilize play action. Get some Y leaks going. Get Kittle involved and not with suicide slants. Let's find something else. I want to see Kyle Cook. If they're going to match up, I look at those safeties, I look at those linebackers, I look at those nickel corners. It's a matchup favorable for Kittle. So get Kittle involved. It's time. Yes, use him in the run game, always. But scheme him open. Get him some shots. I want to see a George Kittle masterclass. So my players of the game are going to be Fred Warner, George Kittle. That's how I see it. But let's do our score predictions for the day. And I want you to be real because we're heading into week 4. 49ers are 1-2. Not everyone is optimistic as I am about this team moving forward. So I don't expect everyone to be in the win column. What is the score predictions that you guys got going for Rams versus 49ers? I'm interested because I think this one is going to be all over the place. I think there's going to be a close scoring game. I think some could potentially pick a low scoring game, maybe even a 49ers loss. So I'm very interested. So drop all your score predictions into the chat. Let's get this thing lit up. So far, we got Joey with 24-17, 20-14. I feel like I'm vibing with Robert on that one. SoCal 27-24. Shane from AZ 49ers Empire says 49ers 27, Rams 24. Does feel like it's going to be a close scoring game. It's really hard to predict anymore, like multiple score games, considering what we've seen out of the offense so far. So it does feel like that it will be a close game. So we'll see how that continues to play out. George said Rams 24, 49ers 16. So we got our first Rams win prediction. Again, I said I could see it. I could see people thinking that the 49ers aren't going to be able to pull it out, including 49er fans. So not surprised by that. Gmo says 19-10, maybe even lower. Could be a low scoring game. Jose says Niners 21 17. Luis says 24-17 Niners. Papi Pablo calling for a 49ers win. We got, why is it not pulling my chats over, bruh? Stop pulling the chats over. Come on, dog. Jose. I guess I'm just gonna have to read them. Because my StreamYard broke. Perfect. Niners 21-17 from Jose. Boomer Rat says, I have no clue. At least you're honest. Niner Empire says 24-23 Niners. Then Boomer Rat drops the score 27-20. Jorge says 14-24. Is that 14 49ers? Justin says 17-6. Feels about 6. No touchdowns for the Rams, eh? Shutout. I like it. I like that energy. 49ers 27, Lambs 17 from JP Hella Hard. Nice name. Heisman says Rams 30, Lamb Chops 7. I could sense something was happening. Am I back now? I could sense something was going on. They're like, you're like in StreamYard is like your chat's too litty right now. We got to shut this down. Like, oh, too litty. Shut it down. Nah, we're here. Let's see. I think I'm almost through. Charlene said 21-29ers. Oh yeah, bouncing back 49-0. Anything but 10 and 11. Yeah, did you see like that is either one or there's only been one or two games in NFL history that ended in a final score 10-11. Like that's how just historically weird that game was. 24-0, 35-27. That's a high score. 20-17. 27-3. 20-17. Terry says 24-10. Let's see. Avatar says 20-17. Let's see. So if I had to give my score prediction based on what I've seen, and I hope it goes the opposite direction, if I'm being perfectly honest, but I'm seeing like a 14-10 49ers victory. I'm seeing a lot of keep away. I'm seeing a lot of defensive football. I think we're going to continue to see defensive football until the 49ers offense can build some continuity and gel. I do think Aaron Donald is going to make it tough. Here we go. The Ramley report says Rams 27-17. I hate to break it to you, Ramley. Matthew Stafford is not scoring 27 points on that defense, my friend. The only way you're getting 27 points is if the offense gives it to you, which could happen, which we've seen it happen. You know, there was a play last week where it was either 6 or it was either 2 given by the offense. But I'm sorry to break it to you. If you're talking purely, like, let's say the 49ers offense has a clean game, no turnovers, No pick sixes, no fumbles that turn into uh, return return touchdowns. You ain't scoring 27. Now, I do think it's going to be a good game. I do, because I still think there's a lot being figured out by the 49ers from an offensive standpoint. So I do think that levels the playing field a bit. But that defense, man, I'm ready. I'm ready. Cooper Cup meets Mooney Ward, baby. Let's go. So I feel like that's too high. I'm going 14-10. 49ers win over the Rams. Ground and pound. I want to get both those tuggies to Kittle. I want to see play action. I want to see it schemed up. But I think it's going to be more of a slugfest. But I'm also hoping for some fireworks. Niners defense is so good they can't stop Cooper Cup knowing he's getting the ball. I don't know. We'll come back to this. We'll come back. Either way, either way, the 49ers shut down Cooper Cup and or Cooper Cup goes ballistic. Let's come back to this. Let's remember this from the Ramley Sports Report. I'm sure we'll see him again. He's been polite with his trash talk, which we do appreciate, and it's welcomed, as long as we're not being obnoxious. And he does a classful job with it. But I'm sorry, Ramley, you're going to get stomped out by the 49ers this time. That's just how it's going to work. I know you guys feel pretty good about your recent success from the San Francisco 49ers, but that will be short lived. And I'm sorry, but we're about to whoop that ass. But let's come back to that, shall we? Shall we? Ramley says Jimmy a couple of sack fumbles, Ramsey pick six, Cup 2 touchdowns. Nah, bruh. Nah. Jimmy redemption incoming. That's going to be the best storyline too. That's going to be the best storyline when Jimmy gets it back on track after all the scrutiny, after all the strays he's gotten from the fan base, from whoever. It's been mostly from his own fan base, I really believe, that have thrown the most strays at Jimmy Garoppolo. But just to have him just bounce back and toast Jalen Ramsey feels poetic. So I hope we see poetry, but I'm not gonna hold my breath either. So we'll see how it plays out. But heading into Monday, I'm not gonna say I feel confident, because when I've said I felt confident, the 49ers, you know, they've done okay. They handled Seattle, kind of embarrassed against Denver, monsoon against Chicago. So I feel, I'm not gonna say confident, but I still see the light at the end of the tunnel. We just have to see them reach it. So we understand. We're prepared for everything. I think our expectations are realistic. I think we can say that. We're hoping for the best. We are preparing for the worst, just to ensure that we don't get burned too crazy at the end of it. But I do think it's going to be a pretty good game. It's going to be an interesting Monday Night Football. Both teams decimated with injuries. Who, if you wouldn't mind, who's injured from the Rams? I'm trying to see here. I haven't seen anything. Is Brian Allen playing your center? But I haven't seen anything too crazy from the starters being out. Oh, enough. Enough. This is a new year. This is a new year. You're going down. Jason can't get worse than last week. I hope not. I hope not. I hope you're right, Jason. I really hope it can't get worse. But we're prepared for everything. We are prepared for everything. But I am looking forward to potentially coming in here on the post game and having a good time. That's what we're looking forward to. We'll see if we get it. We'll see how it plays out. Um, TBD if I will be at the game on Monday. Um, we'll see. But at Levi's Monday night game, Levi's is going to be there. Levi's is going to be electric. So Levi's North going to for sure represent. Uh, so we'll see how it goes. We will see how it goes. What's this? All right. I think it's time though. I think it's time we head into the we knew Van Jefferson was out. Van Jefferson hasn't been a factor for the Rams ever. Troy Hill, decent player. Starting center is out and left tackle. Oh, your starting left tackle's out? Nope boom? Nope boom's out? And your center? Ooh. Fire up your Nick Bosa stock. Woo. That's rough. So 49ers and Rams kind of go into, I guess, similar situation. A lot of injuries. Going to be a lot of new faces up front for both teams. Both teams have pretty damn good defenses or defensive lines. At least we understand Rams have Aaron Donald. 49ers have Nick Bosa. No boom turned to no boom. Ooh, got him. So this game could be messy one, especially in the trenches. So let's see how it goes. And we prepare for a nice weekend as we head into a Monday Night Football primetime performance with the entire world watching. We'll be prepared. We'll be ready. Time to bounce back. We know what the storylines are going into this. Time to put those to bed, get back to winning football, and everything will take care of itself. So I appreciate all you guys for tapping in on this Friday. Smash that like button if you haven't. Get those likes to the moon. Hit that sub button if you're chilling and you haven't subbed to the channel yet. Also, notification bells are a must. That way you never miss some fire content. So I appreciate you guys. Circle the wagons. Let's rally. Let's get this dub. And let's make it happen. Make it happen, Captain. Grab your cookies on your way out. If you made it from start to finish, the entire minute 10 episode on this Friday, make sure you grab a glass of milk with those cookies as well. Helps kind of wash it down on a Friday. All that good stuff. And I hope to see you win or lose, Ramley. The invitation is there. We respect to you and at least the way we can go back and forth in the chat. So win or lose, come back around. Appreciate everyone as always. And again, you guys have a phenomenal rest of your Friday. And I look forward to riding the ship. Let's go. Enjoy your weekend. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to